Hi everyone, in this lesson we will go over two types of graphs, dotted line graph and solid line graph. So after learning about discrete and continuous data from the previous video, we also have to consider whether the point should be connected with straight lines or dotted lines. So dotted lines are used to show trend and some data in between graphed points, and solid line are for continuous pattern and growth. So let's take a look at the examples below. So the number of text messages versus calls right here. Notice how the numbers are increasing by 1,000 every time, which there are text messages happening in between. So we have to connect the points to show that there are points existing, but at the same time, there's no point that exists in message 1 and message 2 because there's no half message. So that's why it only makes sense to connect the points with dotted line to show that there is some gap in between some numbers. The next example is the price for the wild world admission based on the number of people in the group. Again, since the data is collected in intervals of 4s, there are data that exists in between the 4 to 8 and 8 to 12. However, you can't have half of a person, so it won't make sense to solidly connect the points because there are some data that exists but not continuously exist. Now, back to solid line. As you can see from the temperature chart, even though the temperature was only recorded every 2 hours, the temperature is changing constantly, so it makes sense to connect the point to show that even though when the data was not recorded, it is still changing. Now, the distance traveled and time, the data is recorded every 30 minutes. However, the car is still moving in between those times, so it makes sense that you connect the points to show that it is a continuous pattern where when the data is not recorded, something's still happening. So something extra that I want to show you, the step function. As you can see from the picture, is basically a graph that you make like a step that you are stepping on. So now let's take a look at what exactly is step function. This is a graph that shows the money someone saved for a trip in months. As you can see, it's being recorded every month from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. And given that normally when you save money, you will only save it once every month. So this graph basically tells you that in between the first month, maybe the first day of the month, January 1st to January 31st, you will only save the same amount of money because you only deposit that money once, and that's happening only once every month, so the money stays the same throughout the month. If you notice on parking, you're charged by hour. You can either park for 1 whole hour or 45 minutes. You will still be charged the same amount. And same thing happens if you want to park 1.5 hours versus 1 hour and 59 minutes. You will still charge the same amount. But once you hit 2 hours, you need to pay for a higher fee. And one last example in real life that we use step function is the cost of postage for letter. If it weighs 0 to 1 ounce, it will be charged 39 cents. Now once you pass 1 ounce to 2 ounce, you'll be paying 41 cents. So the number stays the same for a set amount of ounces. So to wrap this up, step function graph shows how a data point stays unchanged until the next data point. That's it for the lesson.